Welcome to the Holistic Success Show. I'm Elizabeth Lozano.
And I'm Dr. Robert Puff. Today we're going to have an expert on relationships.
Dr. Puff is going to be talking to us about the cause and cure of suffering, as well as a holistic health community.
And a question from you about how to declutter your home.
Our other question is about how to believe, or if to believe, when somebody says that they've changed. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you enjoy the show.
I'd like to share with you something today that potentially could be very upsetting to you, but it also potentially could be very freeing for you. And what it is suffering. In the end, the suffering that occurs to you, you will be the cause of it, but in the same sense, in the end, you will be the person that can end it. And what I mean is, when bad things happen to us, and they do happen to us, we need to heal them. We need to set up boundaries. We need to make sure they never happen again. And the healing process can take a very long time. But in the end, and I emphasize in the end, you will be the person that say, I am done with this. There is now a scar here. I'll never forget what happens, but I'm not going to let this impact me the rest of my life. I'm not going to be that victim that's going to hang on to this for the rest of my life. Instead, you say, I realize what happened. I have healed from it 100%, and now I'm going to live my life as a completely free, whole person in the now, right now. And perhaps an example would be helpful. There's many viewers out there who have been raped. And of course, you're going to go through a long process of healing and make sure that that healing occurs. You're going to make sure that never happens again. You're going to learn from it. And all the things you need to do to process that healing. And it is an extensive process. I work with many people that has happened to and help them be completely free of it. But to be completely free of it, after you go through the healing process, you need to say, I am not that victim anymore. I'm going to live in the here and the now, and not let that victimization ever affect me again. I want to be free, I want to live now, and I want to savor life to the richest and the fullest extent each moment at a time. And even though you don't forget, and even though you set up boundaries so it will never happen again, but you don't let it continue. Because so often what people do is they become that victimization. They will not let go of the hate. They won't let go of the anger. And it stays with them and it eats them alive. And though the person has gone on that has victimized them, they themselves now are being victimized by their own thoughts, by their own fears, by their own hatred. And they have to work through that. You may need therapy to work through that. That can be very helpful, of course. But after you have worked through it, be free of it. Wash your hands of it and say, I am not that. I am a free human being who's going to live life fully and richly, because in me is a complete power to end the suffering. I do not have to suffer. I can be free here and now, 100% pure, 100% free of anything, and I do not have to suffer again. Peace.
Our first question is from John in Eugene, Oregon. My wife is a pack rat and won't get rid of anything. Our house looks like one of those reality TV shows. I can't take it anymore. What can I do?
John, in any healthy relationships, when you make decisions, you have three choices. One is you agree, very simple. Two is you take turns. And three, you compromise. I often use the example of, if you're going to go on vacation and you both want to go to Hawaii, it's not a problem. But if one year your wife wants to go to Hawaii and you want to go to the desert, you may this year go to Hawaii and next year go to the desert, or you could compromise and go to the mountains instead. But those are your choices. In significant relationships, like a marriage, you have to choose one of the three, or really the two ultimately. Do you compromise or you take turns? If the other person is unwilling to do that, and you're unwilling to do that, you're going to have a problem, period. So you need to sit down with her and say, honey, I know I can't have the house the way I want it, but it's not the way, it also can't be the way you want. So we have a choice here. We can get rid of it and agree with maybe this room will be your room to put your stuff in, and this room will be kind of our clean room, or we can come take turns. It's like, for 1 month we'll have the house more of a mess, and the next month we'll have it really clean. But you have to come up with a decision when you meet in the middle. And if you cannot come up with that, it's going to cause conflict in your marriage, and you're going to need someone to come in and help you, like a therapist, a counselor that says they can sit there and say, we have to meet in the middle. But you have to do that. So I would encourage you, if she won't meet you in the middle or compromise with you, to get some help. What are your thoughts?
I agree with you in regards to getting help, because I think that could be really important. People, a lot of times, I don't know what the level of her pack ratting stuff is, but for a lot of people who have this tendency to save everything, it's kind of a deeper issue, meaning, perhaps they have anxiety of letting stuff go, perhaps it's tied to memories of family members or people that they've had in their life. Sometimes people's children grow up and leave, and they want to keep their things because it's a memory of their childhood. So I think it's important for you to kind of explore to her, what does it mean to you to have all these things, instead of maybe getting mad or frustrated with her, because that can actually increase her anxiety and maybe make her do more of it. It can sometimes also be a control thing. So I think that having somebody come in who's an expert at relationships, or even on a person working through their issues, would be a really, really great idea, especially if the two of you can't work it out, because it may be at a point where it may be even hard for you to listen to her. And if you're at that point, I encourage you to get help anyway, because you should be able to listen to your wife, as she should be able to listen to you too. But sometimes the reality is, relationships start to get like this the more we create this distance with each other. So I encourage you, please try and talk to her, try and understand where she's coming from, and get help. I think it's really important to do that, and there's nothing wrong with that. It actually shows great strength to admit that you need help.
Elizabeth, I really like what you said about the kindness, because I think it's very important to be kind when you struggle with someone, because you don't know their perspective. But I think the thing to focus on for John is always focus on yourself first. Say, okay, are there things I could do to feel better?
Because you can't really change anybody else.
You can't.
That's the truth.
She may just say, I'm not going to. That's going to create a problem. But until you get that help, you can change yourself, and maybe just your attitude, your shift of attitude can greatly affect things. All of a sudden say, it's not as cluttered, it's not that bad.
And even, I was talking about the anxiety thing, if your patience with her is increased, that could also be something that is affecting her anxiety. Yeah. I'm not sure, but it is a possibility. So we hope that this helps you. Thank you so much for your question.
Co-hosts of the Holistic Success Show, Dr. Puff and Elizabeth Lozano, M.A., want to teach you how to live a meditative life. Learn to still your mind, diminish negative thinking, experience peace and bliss, and be 100% present in the moment. Retreats provide a unique opportunity to learn new skills, meet new people, and interact with Elizabeth Lozano and Dr. Puff. For information or reservations for upcoming retreats, please visit holisticretreats.tv. Expand your capacity for joyful living today.
Tranquility and peace. Find freedom and relaxation no matter where you are or who you're with. Be still, be free. Meditation for health and happiness, available at www.holistichealth.tv.
Have you ever felt like you needed a dating or relationship coach? Our guest today is Chris Kennedy, and he is an advice columnist who specializes in dating and relationship counseling. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So I know this is a really big issue for a lot of people. Absolutely, right?
Yes.
Can you maybe talk to us a little bit about what are some of the main barriers that you see that get in the way for people finding that special someone?
Absolutely, yeah. I think one of the main barriers that people have is they have a lot of their own personal baggage that they carry into a potential relationship. And you have a lot of people that say, I want to be in a relationship, right? I'm ready to meet the one, I'm so ready. But then you maybe delve a little bit deeper and you find out, well, there's still problems with their ex. They haven't quite had a clean break with that. There's their own emotional issues with whatever they have in their life. And you start to, when you get into it further, you go, are you really ready for the one or not? And I think that's an important thing to ask yourself. Like, am I ready to meet a good person if I'm not really balanced myself and feeling good? And if you're not really balanced and feeling good, what kind of person are you going to attract at that point?
Yeah, that's so true. And then they end up attracting these people who are like, I don't know why I always end up with these jerks
Yes.
or whatever.
You get that a lot, yeah.
It's like,
I always meet all these jerks. Why am I meeting jerks all the time? Oh, I don't know. That's a good thing to think about. Maybe we change some things up with yourself.
Some self-awareness is really important there.
Absolutely.
Now, you talked about past relationships and how that can definitely damper a person's finding somebody else. What are some suggestions that you have to getting over a past relationship?
Well, and this is sort of a more proactive approach, but when you're finding out that you are going to end it, I think it's important to have a clean break. And I think that's a difficult thing to do, but
I don't know if some people even know what that means.
Yeah, I know that, and that what that means is it's literally you need to get that person out of your life because they've been in it a lot, so you need to stop contacting them. I mean, that's a difficult thing to do because this is someone you've probably talked to multiple times every day, and so I think the cold turkey approach in the sense, it seems to me to be the best way, because the sooner they create a crater in your life, create a crater, and it's like a Grand Canyon sort of in your life when you've had these people in there, and so when they are, when they leave, there is an emptiness, but the solution isn't to try to smooth it all back over with that same person to try to fit them back in because it wasn't working. So,
but it's also not, to try and put somebody else in that spot either, which some people do.
To immediately just put a new person in, even if they don't fit right, just put something in there, right? Yeah, exactly. Give yourself a chance to sort of fill that back up with things that you enjoy, with your own hobbies, with something that maybe now you have some personal time. Take that space and put something in there that you feel is valuable for your life. And then once you can kind of get that back to a balanced ground, now you're ready to maybe venture out and meet somebody new. But the danger is to hold on to these past relationships. Like I said, you keep that crater, you keep that you keep yourself sort of in this emptiness, and you're not really ready for someone new to come and kind of create their own crater, create their own impression on your life. So.
You were talking about the importance of love, like taking care of yourself. I always like to say love yourself, and by doing all those things and exploring what you like, because some people actually get so lost in a relationship with somebody else, like they almost become identified by what that other person wants and desires and likes.
Yes.
So it's such a great time for you to actually explore what you like, and then eventually find somebody who really likes those things, and you can really be solid in who you are.
Exactly. Now you're bringing something to the table of a real individual, independent person. That's desirable. Yeah, exactly.
And on that note, once people have, perhaps found some of the things that they love about themselves, what are some of the best places that somebody can meet someone?
The corner of 5th and 3rd. No, that's actually a lot of people, they ask me, like, where am I going to meet somebody? I mean, where are these places? And they're obviously all over the place, and they're obviously dependent on you as an individual. If you're a healthy person and you like to work out, you like to hike, hiking trails, biking trails, and Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, anywhere that you're going are potential places to meet people with similar interests, which gives you a nice basis to at least maybe take a look at. And I think the main thing is to do your interests. That's what we're talking about, developing your life. When you're doing what you like, what energizes you, what fulfills you, you're going to go to those types of places, and the other people that are seeing you or that you're meeting at those places are more than likely going to be in a similar place as you, and perhaps be nice fields for potential mates,
And don't you think, I think sometimes people have the idea of opposites attract, which may be like so attractive at first, right? But don't you think it's important for people to have similarities as well?
I do. I think, when they say opposites attract, I think that means a lot of different things. You could be opposite in looks or something like that, but opposites in interests and beliefs, I don't think
like
necessarily always
somebody who
works.
shops and eats at like Trader Joe's and Mother's Market and healthy stuff versus somebody who's always getting fast food all the time and maybe not so be fried foods and stuff.
Yeah,
that's going to be a problem
at every meal.
Yeah.
This is just kind of a and there are opposites in you like to watch football, you like to watch Bravo Network or something. I think that's okay. But like when you're talking about sort of lifestyles and philosophies on raising children and the way you resolve your conflicts, that's sort of where you need to have the similarities, where the opposites might not be the best situation.
And that gets back to what you had said of knowing yourself and really accepting and loving yourself, because if you do, you're going to respect who you are and not just kind of flop over and say, okay, well, maybe I'll just be okay with that.
Well, right, exactly. I mean, it goes with if you're just looking to meet somebody, then it's a matter of you'll just do whatever it takes to fit in with them because you just need someone there, which isn't a good situation. You're desperate.
And, I wanted to ask you another question that you could share with our viewers about, what makes somebody desirable? Because do you think that makes somebody desirable?
It does to the wrong kind of people. You're to someone who wants to control somebody, you are desirable. You will. And again, we talked about that. That's what you attract, is that if you are desperate and ready and very moldable, then you're going to attract somebody who wants to be very controlling.
And perhaps abusive.
And perhaps abusive, absolutely. And that goes right along in those things. So what's desirable, I would think, is someone who comes to the table knowing who they are, that is confident, that is independent in a sense of that they have their own life and they choose to be with you rather than need to be with you. And so the desirableness is someone who really has a good sense of themselves and does kind of can create their own happiness outside of you, and so that you're not the only source for them to be happy, because that's just too much pressure for really any human to have to bear. I mean, that's a lot. Not only do you carry your own weight, but you carry the weight of your partner when they're not as balanced and as familiar with themselves as they should be.
Now, I think an important thing to note here is I just asked you what's desirable.
Yeah.
You didn't say to me 5'8", blonde hair. Really, that it's not about that, because a lot of women think that that's what they need to become in order to be attractive to somebody, and everybody has different tastes.
Absolutely.
Everybody, even as far as a woman, man to man, woman to woman, everybody has a different taste.
Sure, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, of course.
Yes, and I think that's important for people to remember, and that's that confidence thing that you just mentioned.
Absolutely. And by the way, I think if you are feeling good about yourself and you are confident, I think you are going to take care of yourself physically as well. It is important to look good. Guys do like visual. They do like you to be in shape, but you like to be in shape. I mean, you like to feel good, and so it's not a matter of the woman has to look beautiful and hot all the time. It's just a matter of
perfect, or this idea of perfect.
Perfect, yeah. If she's feeling good, that is sexy. That is something that's attractive, and so it's not necessarily like you said the certain measurements you need
Hollywood
to fulfill.
Look.
Yeah. It's just you can get that attractiveness across in your just your overall sensibilities.
You have so much wisdom to offer, and I know there's a lot of people out there who really want to hear it. And actually coming from a woman is good, but also coming from a man and hearing it from a man is a really important thing too. So if people want to get a hold of you and read your column, where can they do that?
Yeah, well, they can do it on dearchris.net, and they can also I also do a column on divinecaroline.com/the4way.
Well, thank you so much for being a guest on our show.
My pleasure.
Are you frustrated at work, feeling overwhelmed and disconnected, losing all hope? What if you could see things differently? Learn how to shift your focus and see that the keys to success are truly in your hands. Learn how to work as a team again and love your job, ultimately finding the success you're looking for. Success beyond your imagination, available at www.holistichealth.tv. How to Live a Positive Life, available at www.holistichealth.tv.
As we go through life, there can be challenges. We can get hurt by people. We can have events that happen that can really make our life hard. And there is something, though, that we can do to really help us get through that. And that's other people, a community that you can lean on to get through the challenges of life. It's a beautiful place that you go and say, hey, you're part of my life, and I'm going to be there for you when you go through a hard time, but be there for me when I go through difficult times too. And that, if you can establish that community, what you'll find is life will go well. And the key of it is, we have to choose people to be part of our community that really are, if I can say an adage, on the same page. They want to have a good life, they want to be positive, they want to be loving, they want to be kind, and you just seek those people out. I think what you'll find is God and the universe will bring them to you, but when you find them, grab onto them and make sure they're part of your community. And then what you do is you just dive into them. You be part of them. You have them be part of your life. As challenges come, you call them up and say, hey, can we get together and talk? You meet with them regularly because they're part of your life. And they help you and they help me get through life, because when the joys come, they're there for you. When the difficulties come, they're there for you. And I think what can often happen is when we go through pain is we withdraw. That's one thing, one response to pain is we withdraw from people. The second thing we do is that we actually have a lot of people in our lives that don't help us, and they actually wear us down. And they're hard on us, and you don't really want to be around those people. They may be fine for someone else, but if for you, they cause you suffering, if they're kidding you, if they're cutting you down, if they're hurting your self-esteem, you don't want to be part of them. You want to find a community. You want to create a community where people are loving, where people are kind, where people are supportive. And in that community, no matter what life throws at you, you can handle anything, because with them, you're not alone anymore. You really never have been, but now you have them helping you through those challenges. And if you don't have them, life is very difficult. We tend to turn to addictions. We just do things that wear us out. But the reverse is true. The community that Elizabeth and I are creating here is a holistic health community. We can learn about being healthy, take care of your body, establish one on your own. Join a meditation group. If you have a church that's really great, that's positive and loving, go there. If you have a group, a local group that's into organic gardening, be part of that. Be part of a community where people are into health, into happiness, into wholeness. And what you'll find is, as you go through life, that will be a beautiful place for you to be. Peace.
Our second question is from Gina in Boca Raton, Florida. Her question is, about a year ago, I broke up with my boyfriend because he cheated and was verbally abusive. He is back, says he has changed and wants a second chance. Should I give it to him?
Gina, I know this may sound kind of funny, but I want you to put on your scientific hat for a minute and investigate this without all your emotions. He has said he has changed after he's done really painful things to you and to himself, because when we hurt another person, we hurt ourselves far more. So what you have to ask yourself is, how did he change? Just saying you changed is pretty irrelevant. What you need to see is evidence, and evidence would be he's been in counseling, he's gotten support groups, he's really worked through his issues that caused him to do that to you, because it was his issues that made him do that. And then you'll talk to other people that know him, his family members, friends, and say, have you seen a change in him? Or does he just miss me and want me back and say he's not going to do it again? Because the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. If he's done it to you before, he most likely will do it again because of his own shame and guilt. So you want to make sure that there is clear evidence that he is different through all the things that I said, and by talking to people that know him. And then if you get those two confirmations, you also want to talk to him, and instead of dating him, get to know him as a friend first and see it in his behavior, because you will see it very quickly whether he's changed or not. What are your thoughts?
I agree with all that you said, and I also encourage Gina to take a look at why would you want to be back with him. I remember one of my first relationships was pretty long, and he cheated and he was verbally abusive. And I remember once somebody asked me, why do you love him? And I stopped and I tried to think of why I loved him. It wasn't because he was nice to me. It wasn't because he made me feel good about myself. It wasn't because of any of those things. In fact, most of our relationship was not very good. He put me down a lot, and I felt like I couldn't be with anybody else. And I encourage you to take a look at that, because sometimes we can go back in relationships because we feel so badly about ourselves. So I think, why not take this time to work on yourself and love yourself, not necessarily needing that from him. And as Dr. Puff had said, be friends with him. Be friends with him and see how he is, so you can see that change yourself. I've also known many people who have ended relationships and gone back to them after, a year or 6 months, and the person says, I've totally changed. And guess what? They're together for a while, and guess what starts to happen again? So it's something that you want to make sure you don't get stuck in that cycle of, because once you get in it again, and you may know this already, it's very, very difficult to get out of. And you don't want to get stuck in that situation. So if you do go back with him, make sure he has made those changes and take your time. Don't rush anything, and make sure you're in a positive place also.
And Elizabeth, I don't know about you, but from my professional experience, when I've seen someone cheat and be verbally or physically abusive, I find it is very, not impossible, but very difficult to change that. So most likely she should take the approach of, he probably isn't better. He might be, but
it takes a lot of therapy, a lot of inner searching. I'm not saying that people can't change, because absolutely they can.
But it's hard.
But I also want to tell you, you are an amazing person, worthy of so much love and somebody to treat you in an amazing way. And you need to recognize that, because if you recognize that and truly realize how amazing you are, you'll never let anybody mistreat you again, no matter what the person is saying. So we wish you all the best, and thank you for your question.
HollywoodBeautySecrets.com offers powerful, healthy skincare products at a fraction of the price of most doctor brands. From potent peptides and antioxidants to rejuvenating LED light therapy, HollywoodBeautySecrets.com offers quality beauty products that you can afford. We all deserve to look and feel our best. On any budget, look better, feel better, be better at www.HollywoodBeautySecrets.com.
As a leading provider of raw, vegan, and biocompatible nutritional superfoods, Health Force offers Vitamineral Green. Their special cold-dry technique preserves the essential vitamins, minerals, enzymes, and other nutritional elements from all organic greens and vegetables. Dr. Puff is a longtime consumer of Vitamineral Green and other Health Force products. Now you can enjoy a powerful array of superfoods any time of the day. Be good to your body. Visit www.behealthy.tv today.
Are you or someone you love struggling with depression, anger, or anxiety? Have you suffered a loss, or are you struggling to keep your relationship alive? Do you have a child or a teen who needs help? You don't have to face it alone. We are here to help you create the change you need in your life to be happy again. Visit us at www.ocmentalhealthexperts.com for more information. Our quote this week is by Benjamin Franklin. Well done is better than well said. So all those ideas you have, it's time to put them into action. Thank you for joining us on the Holistic Success Show. If you'd like to catch some of our previous episodes, please view them on our website and iTunes.
And if you have a company who would like to learn about sponsorship opportunities, please visit our website.
Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next week.